Hello and welcome back to Time Travel is Possible, possibly your favorite YouTube channel. Today we are back with another video. This one's going to be the collection I have of the Care Bears, which is not much. The biggest piece I did end up buying was this Care Bear toy chest, and we'll talk about that in some detail. We're looking at 1981, where the Care Bears started on greeting cards, very similar to how Strawberry Shortcake got started. And I think there was another one, but I just can't remember which one that might be. And then actually Strawberry Shortcake, the creator, did end up helping create some of the Care Bear characters that you see here, the ones that you've come familiar with. That was in 1981 with the greeting cards, and then in 82 they started to release the plush teddy bears. I don't have any examples of those. I'm not interested in collecting those because those just take up way too much space as far as collections go. So I don't even have one of them, and I'm not interested in that. And then they did end up coming, it looks like they ended up coming out with about 15 total characters on the Care Bear line. I don't have all the names. That can easily be looked up. That was the Care Bears and their cousins. And then they did have a TV show, cartoon from 85 to 88. So these are the figures that you can move around. They're made of plastic. They were sent out by Kenner. There's this would be easy set to complete, and I think there was 4 that were released in the UK that they say are rare, and I haven't seen any of those out in the wild yet. They also had the Carolot, I think it is, which is like a heart shaped with the rainbow, some clouds. They had some cars that they drove around in. So there were other things that were available as far as play sets go. And then the characters themselves, like I said, are in the plush form, and then they have these figures that you can move around on the arms and legs. So you do want to make sure that none of those are broken. And then I did not know this, and this seems like it would be even more difficult to find if you're collecting these, but they did have some accessories. So each one did come with accessory. These 2 smaller ones, which are like 1.5 inches, these are produced from 83 to 94, so I'm not interested in collecting those either. So really I'm looking at getting 15 of these. Some of the things on here you want to notice is that they, on their, what do they call it? Tummy symbols or belly badge. You want to make sure the paint is good there, and then on their eyes or nose. And they did come with a little tuft of hair. And they do have a lot of hearts everywhere. They got a stamp on the back here. Everyone had a stamp, and then they have heart stamps on their feet on the bottom. As you can see, this one here does have some wear. And otherwise, though, they're in pretty good shape. And then this one, they don't stand up that well. This yellow one's called Funshine. And then Love-A-Lot has 2 hearts here. And then this one's called Cheer, which is the rainbow. And then this one's called Grams. So I don't know if that's like a grandma related thing, but that one came with a basket. So those are those characters there, and with their belly badges. And they did have, whatever was on them as far as the badges go, showed more of their personality or their specialty. I guess you could say superpower. And then obviously all of them did the Care Bear stare, which everybody is pretty familiar with. And that's a lot of the history there. They've launched the Care Bears multiple times. And so now we're just going to go ahead and look at this toy chest and break that down. It's hard to read, but from what I remember when looking at it, this toy chest was in 1984. I had to grab this because I just thought, these things are just falling apart, and how many are actually left, right? And maybe they did sell a lot of them, but I just, after 40 some years, you would think they start to fall apart. They are made of, I don't know, plywood type stuff. So at least you have that, and there are a couple mechanisms you know, with the hinges, and then this major hinge here that makes it go up and down and can stay. It won't, like, you know, clamp down on the kid and hurt him in any way. So a little tension on that hinge. And then inside, it's pretty boring inside. There's 2 holes on the side, and I don't know what that was for exactly. If it was to help pick it up, that may be, because you don't want to drag these across the floor. They'll start to fall apart if they're on the carpet. This one's in great shape overall. I mean, there's a lot of wear on the edges going up and down there with the paint that was supposed to be there. And then the graphics, you know, almost look like they were hand painted, which they were not, but they seem to have that effect. And then I don't know if they're faded or not, and I don't know how much you can tell here. Maybe down here more. With these graphics, they seem a little more faded, but then again, I feel like it might have came that way, that they were that faded. So I don't know how super bright they got. And then just on the side, you have this Care Bears generic looking logo, not a lot of color, just an outline there. And then, so, you know, there are a lot of screws that you'd put together. I do like the fact that if you wanted to keep this and you didn't want to display it, you could easily take it apart, and everything would be flat, so that would save a lot of space there. But then if you had a big collection, you could just end up throwing everything in there. When you're looking for these, you just want to make sure they're sturdy still, which this one really is. And then you don't want to, you want to make sure they don't have any water stains, anything like that. There's nothing on the back there, so that is it. Not much about the Care Bears. Pretty cool. The TV series is, the TV cartoon is good. They came out with a couple movies. And then, like I said, it wouldn't take long to collect all these figures. And then you would have a complete collection there, besides knowing how much the rare ones are. Those 4 UK releases. But these, on average, should be all the same price. And, you know, you might want to get them for $3, $4, $5, something like that. So just wanted to go over that real quick, the Care Bear collection. And if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe. I'm trying to get as many videos as I can this month out with the collections that I do have. And I will see you guys in the future, time travelers.